points with the critique, there's so many topics.
Okay.
I get the impression that the khutbah has to be long.
Okay.
So one clarify that in terms of the length of the khutbah. The second point is that should the followers following the salah be concerned about how many times the hands are raised? Because the Imam will say very fast, but is it that obligation on the follower to be concerned about if you miss a rakat, raising your hand?
Tell you.
And a third point of observation, many people come to the salah, many Muslims who normally, many of them don't perform salah al-Fajr. And I noticed that one brother one time said, those who miss the Fajr, get up and read the salah before you eat salah. So how do you comment on that?
Right. Jazakallah khairan. Question, first and foremost, is with regards to the length of the what? Of the khutbah. With regards to various topics. Isn't the khutbah supposed to be short, or is it supposed to be long? How can it be more than one topic and remaining concise? Then the Muslims being concerned with the takbirs, missing the takbirs, or missing a rak'ah, or things like this. And then missing Salatul al-Fajr, and making it up before the Eid, or with the Eid. What is the ruling of the fiqh on that? The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ clearly teaches us that, or two main things we have in the hadith. And many people, they neglect the second type of hadith. The hadith of Ammar ibn Yasir in Sahih Muslim clearly mentions the recommendation of having a short khutbah. إِنَّ طُولَ صَلَاةِ الرَّجُلِ وَقِيصَرَ خُطْبَتِهِ مَئِنَّةٌ مِّن فِقْهِهِ. The hadith says when a man makes the prayer in a lengthy manner, it's long, relatively of course, because long could be reciting Surah Al-Baqarah. But he's talking about relatively long. And the khutbah relatively short. It's also relative. To certain people, 20 minutes is short. To certain khatibs, 30 minutes is short. You see, some people, they give an hour khutbah or 45-minute khutbah. And it's not a khutbah full of Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah. It's just a khutbah just redundant. Putting you to sleep. Not saying nothing in reality. You could have summarized an hour khutbah in 10 minutes. Unfortunately. Tayyib. So that's relative. But there are other hadith that state كانت خطبة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قسطا. The Messenger of Allah's khutbah was what? Qast. Meaning it wasn't short and quick and insufficient. That it was fulfilling, it was satisfying. So there are hadith on that as well. So the khutbah shouldn't always be super long. And it shouldn't always be really, really super short. It should be something that's just enough. And from time to time, if there's an important topic or a serious topic, to give it a bit more length. But the asl should be short, quick, and concise. Short, quick, and concise. So that's the correct view with regards to those conflicting hadiths. With regards to the length of the khutbah. As far as the topic matter and the subject matter, then I would say it's going to depend on the khatib, the speaker. How you speak, how fast you talk, or how proficient, how quick you are on your feet. Everybody understand this? Just look at a cat, for example. How fast does a cat move on his feet? How often does a cat land on his what? On his back. If you dropped a cat, where would it land? It's quick. And the cat has weight. It has to shift its balance, but it's quick on its feet. It doesn't take slow, cumbersome steps. And the same applies to the khatib. So you can have 3 or 4 topics. You can put all of them in one khutbah, depending on what?
How fast you are.
How quick you move on your feet. And how proficient you are from switching it. And most importantly, merging and marrying the topics. Merging and what? Marrying the topics. As far as if you just split them up and separate them, and you're slow speaking, you're slow to make your transition, you're not smooth, then it's going to feel long. And it's going to be confusing. But if you can merge them and mix them and combine them and do it smoothly and be quick and fast on your toes and your feet like a cat is, then it's very possible to have a khutbah on 2 topics or more than that. Or you can have a khutbah on 1 topic, but it can be full of subtopics. So many different directions you can take the khutbah to. I benefited this, I learned that, he was talking about this, he was talking about this, so on and so forth. It's possible. And that's going to be based off of the skill of the khatib. The skill of the khatib, his experience, how much knowledge he has. Everybody clear on this or not? It doesn't mean it has to be long. The khutbah could be 5 minutes, but he could talk about different things. And that's Allah's bounty. He gives it to whom He wills. As far as the people being concerned then the Eid prayer is going to be a reflection of the normal prayer. It's a reflection of the one's Islam. How do you normally dress? Do you normally pray? How are you normally towards your brothers? Are you a Ramadan Muslim, a Eid Muslim? Or you're a normal Muslim that the brothers know you come to the masjid from time to time, if not every day? So the people and how they pray and how they reflect on their salah and how they follow the imam is going to be no different on salah to the Eid. And we all know the narrations that state that a man will offer prayer and he'll leave the prayer. And he'll only get half of the prayer, or a third of the prayer, a fourth of the prayer, a fifth of the prayer, a sixth of the prayer, until it says, "Ushraha." Some people may only leave with a tenth of the prayer. They weren't focusing, they weren't thinking, they were daydreaming, they were lollygagging, twiddling and fiddling their fingers and their thumbs, waiting for the salat to be done and to be over, to give salams to my cousin or my uncle, or to see this sister, her flashy overgarment. This is a reality. So the Muslims, they have to be reminded of the importance of the salah, the importance of making a salah, following the imam, of concentrating and focusing and benefiting from the prayer. And the more Arabic that you know, the more tafsir you can learn. The more tafsir you can learn, the more khushu' you can have in your prayer. Because you know what the imam is reciting. You know what it means. You know the concept, the depth of it. You can actually ponder and reflect on the salah. And this is the virtue of learning the basics of the Arabic language and the basics of the tafsir. But if you don't know what's being said, what's the significance behind it, what's the sunnah, then you're going to be lost oftentimes, huh? So that's my advice with regards to that. As far as offering salat al-fajr and salat al-Eid and things like this, then obviously for a Muslim not to pray fajr and to miss fajr all of the time, chronically, may Allah help us all. That's definitely something which is a sign of a major crack in one's deen. A major crack in the frame of your religion. A crack engine, right? How good is the engine if the engine block is cracked?
Not good at all. Transmission.
It's a serious problem with the car now. Okay, so if a person misses the Eid or misses Salat al-Fajr, then obviously they should make it up as soon as they remember it. As the Prophet ﷺ teaches us. فَلْيُصَلِّهَا إِذَا ذَكَرَهَا. It says make up the prayer as soon as you remember. When the sun is rising, you're not supposed to be praying. Make it up as soon as you remember. If a person didn't have enough time, except when they went out to the Eid prayer, there was no time, then make the 2 rak'ats before you sit down. Push come to shove if you made the Fajr with the Eid. Depending on, is the Eid obligatory or is the Eid what? Recommended, the Eid prayer. So that's my advice with regards to that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala abdi wa rasulih Muhammad. Fadl akhi.
One question concerning Jummah need. Jummah permissible need.
I'm sorry?
That's Jummah.
Jummah?
Yeah.
And what about it?
Is it permissible on Eid?
Permissible on the Eid day.
Yeah.
Type. The question is regarding Jummah on the Eid day. Is it permissible? Yes. The Imam, he should establish the Jummah as we've explained in the class. And those who wish to come, they are allowed to come. But if you make Eid in the morning, you don't have to come to Jummah. It's only recommended. Yes, but it should be established. Because there are certain people who didn't pray Eid. And the Eid, according to most of the scholars, isn't obligatory.
Makes sense.
Everybody clear on this? So for you individually, your family, let's say you want to go eat and you want to go take your family out. And you're going to be far away. Even though you're traveling as well. But the concept, if you're home, you don't have to go to Jumu'ah. But the Jumu'ah service should be provided during that day. And Allah knows best. Fadl Talib.
What is the ruling on the hadith attributed to the Prophet ﷺ that says the ink of a scholar is worth more than the blood of a martyr?
That hadith is not authentic. It's not sahih. That the ink of a scholar is worth more than the blood of a martyr. The Prophet, he never said that. And he never spoke like that. That's a wise quote, a proverb. Okay? Or the concept of the pen is mightier than the sword. Rather, with regards to disciplism, the pen and the sword become what?
One.
They become one, intertwined. The pen is the sword is the what? Is the pen. Allah knows best. Fadal.
Can you give the zakat money for someone to make Hajj?
Question says, can you give the zakat money for someone who's making Hajj? No, you shouldn't do that. The recipients of zakat al-fitr are the recipients of normal zakat. The recipients of zakat al-fitr are the recipients of the normal zakat, the 8 types of people. So if someone is poor, whether they're miskeen or faqir or miskeen, they're not necessarily people who are going to be making Hajj. Hajj costs a lot of money. Hajj, there's a lot of preparation involved. Just getting to buying the ticket, getting the visa, getting the shots, it's a lot of money. Let alone going to make Hajj, let alone spending money coming back. So people who make Hajj and they're miskeen and faqir, aren't necessarily people that are going to get zakah. And obviously in our modern times, poor is relative. Poor is relative. It's subjective from person to person. There are people who live with certain standards of life that when you go and buy yourself something and treat yourself something, you have a couple of pairs of shoes in the closet, you have a few thobes, you buy your wife some jewelry and you may feel bad. I'm being extravagant. I'm being a spendthrift. How many thobes does he have? How many socks do you have? We see with all these different... But you compare that to somebody else, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim, and what you have is a trifle of the things that they've amassed and they pile up. Literally nothing. It's of no value. So poor, zuhud, spendthrift, extravagant, that's what? That's subjective from person to person. So therefore, in our modern times, a faqir or a miskeen could be someone who has a house, someone who has a car, someone who dresses well, but he has bills, he has debts, he has children, he has this and he has that. Somebody, he may be poor, but he saves up for Hajj, but he's still needy. He's still needy. And when he gets back to America, he's going back to check to check, check to check. I live by check. There's no saving money. But I sacrificed this, tax returns, so on and so forth, and I got the money to make Hajj. But that's not the default. The default is that you wouldn't be giving someone money, zakat money, to make Hajj. Because one who's making Hajj is not considered, or shouldn't be considered, someone who's what? Poor. From the people who are allowed to receive zakat al-fitr. So zakat al-fitr is supposed to be given to those who would normally receive what? Zakat. And Allah knows best. So clear? Fadl.
A quick question. You have two intentions for the same act. For example, you miss Ramadan fast, you want to be 6 Shawwal.
Clear.
Same intention for Ramadan fast and Shawwal at the same time.
With regards to having two intentions for one act of worship, you miss days of Ramadan and you want to make the 6 recommended days of Shawwal. The answer to the question is yes and no. In Islam, there are certain times and certain instances in which you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Yes. 2 birds with 1 stone. And there are certain times and certain instances in which it has to be 1 bird for one stone for 1 bird. The fard, you cannot make the intention of performing the sunnah for fard. Abadan. So if you miss Ramadan, you have to make the intention of fasting to make up Ramadan. If it's on a Monday or Thursday, if it's on a white night or white day, if it's during the time in which the Muslims are fasting the 6 days of Shawwal. Let's make an example of this. A person missed a day in Ramadan because he was traveling, or he was sick, or he made a sin and he just broke his fast. He was weak that day. He made the tawbah and he wants to make up the day. So he doesn't want to feel embarrassed by the Muslims eating iftar, eating suhoor in the masjid for Shawwal. So he goes along with them. I'm fasting. But he's making up a what? A mandatory day, but it's during the time of
6 days.
The recommended days. But his intention cannot be to fast Shawwal and make up Ramadan at once. Abadan. Totally invalid. Totally invalid. However, there may be an instance in which you do something which is obligatory and it takes the place of that which is recommended. Or it takes the place of another obligatory action, like Tahiyyatul Masjid. You come in, you make Salatul al-Fajr. I didn't make any sunnahs. I just made the 2 rak'ah al-Fajr. After the Fajr class, after the Fajr Salah, you started the class. I can sit down, I don't have to get up because I made what?
2 rak'ah.
But the 2 rak'ah that you made were for the masjid and for the actual Fajr. Fajr. But that suffices you. That does what? So that's an instance you should kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But the fasting example, no. Every bird has its own slingshot and its own stone. Am I clear on this? And Allah knows best.